Hey y'all. So I thought I'd start sharing my dreams with y'all and discussing them. Um I don't like to edit or anything, just play it and see where it goes. I don't even know what I think about the dreams. I haven't even reviewed the dreams in about, let me see, just once October. But yeah, prior to this dream, I kept saying to my other half, I kept saying to him, man, I miss my dad. I hadn't seen my dad in 10 years because of some things he did, and I can't blame him because I was a little gullible and too giving, and I've learned those lessons. I'm still working on those lessons, but I've learned them for the most part. And, well, um, yeah, let me play the dream. But yeah, I was too giving, and he did some things that made me not want to talk to him ever again. I was like, F that. Yeah, I know what I said and all of that. My brother like, oh, you should rekindle with that. All those years, I was like, no, never. And I meant never, right? But then I had a dream. Um, well, this was after I just like the first initial dream before I started dreaming this stuff again. Like having prophetic dreams was, or self-guiding dreams was. Um, my first dream was me, like, I lifted up out of my body sleep, and I went and I just went through the air. Somehow I was flying in the sky and like float like and I ended up at my grandma's porch. That's my childhood home basically. That's where we always every parties and everything went down, family and all that. None of us talk anymore. I mean nobody. 222. Nobody talks or anything like that. Everybody fell apart and felt just, it's a hot mess. But anyway, yeah, I zoomed, my body zoomed to my grandma's house in my sleep. And I was at her porch light, and I was just like hovering over her porch light. You could hear the crickets. She lives in the country. She lived in the country. And you could see the light, and I was hovering at the light, and you could hear the crickets chirping, and I don't know what I was supposed to be doing, but I was like, but yeah, and then all of a sudden something changed, and I said the light got brighter and brighter, and chirping got louder and louder, and then I went, and I um was sucked back into where I was in my room, and I reverted back into my room, and I woke up. So some snatched me back from the light. It was like I was called there, but then snatched back, and that was like October the 1st last year. I don't know what that was. But then I'm just giving you a little background on me starting to have stronger dreams. I've always had these dreams, but disregarded them. I could, when I was younger, like even up to my early 20s, I could tell who was calling, who was going to call, what was going to happen the next day, and all of that. But it got really scary. I shouldn't have been scared because I was raised in a certain way, and I knew certain things. I was taught by my grandmother. Um, at a very young age, and but we went over to Christianity. Um, well, they did, so therefore I had to. Um, but yeah, let me play this dream. I dreamt I was down great grandma's house. I think Tony, me and Tony was together. That's my brother. We came to the backyard, and men were working on a truck, and I saw my dad sitting there with like a hat on, something. I saw my dad down there, and it was Salt and Gray hair at the time, like what he. Anyway, he was sitting down there, and he talked like he couldn't see us. He was ignoring us each time we passed him. Then I was like, what the fuck he down here for? And blah, 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 blah. And we kept trying to spell something on a toy or something, like a name toy where you slide the stuff on the toy. And then somebody tried to explain to me how he felt so bad that how he did me. He didn't want to just come and say anything. He couldn't say anything, but he felt so bad how he did me. And I still was bitter, but yeah. Yeah, well, anyway, so um that prompted me to reach out to my father. I forgot other things that happened, but it was prompting me to reach out to my father and make amends. And I did. I reached out to him through my aunt, and she put us together. I think he was a little hesitant at first. Um, but I'm a forgiving person. And even before I called him, I was missing him because me and him were like twins. I'm the female version of him, and we get along so well. Even though he did me wrong, and he did several times. They always say that the favorite one or the one most like the parent is the one to get dogged. The one that's gonna do them right is gonna get dogged. That's true. I got that on both sides of the family. I'm very giving, whether I want to be or not, and um, soft-hearted. I'm learning things like that. But we rekindled, and it was like we never left off. We sat and talked for a long time. He got to see his grandsons. He hadn't seen since they were like 4 and 6, about 4 and 2 or something like that. And he was really happy to meet them. Um, he stood me up a couple of times before we actually got together. I think it was more of guilt and hesitation because of guilt. But the overall thing I learned 808 the overall thing I learned from that is it's okay at any given time to forgive. I can't say I don't like the word forgive. I would say find an understanding. And I looked at his background. I put myself in his place, and I found an understanding enough to um make amends with him. And I'm glad I did. It was relieving for the soul. He's like, I have certain things I won't do again for him. Um I have my boundaries now. I'm a grown woman, and I have my boundaries, and I'm spiritually guided, so I'm forgiving and I love my dad. Um it's yeah, it's not a lot that changed about him, put it that way, but I forgive him and I understand who he is and how he works. So I work along with that, and I love my dad. So thanks, Spirit, for guiding me there. I also know some other things, and time is of the essence. So um, I'm glad I had the chance to be with them again. Yeah.